Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. As you already know, I'm Makiva.
I'm David.
Oh, you did your own little intro this time? Okay.
Yes.
And we are the Muhammads. You almost missed it.
Right.
It's okay. So today, guys, my husband is sick, so I had to pull him to record this video, but he's gonna push through and we're gonna make it to the end. This video will be part 1 of a part 2 because we're going to be talking about what it's like to be married to someone of a different faith, and it's going to take a while to do this discussion, so we're going to do a 2-part. Okay. I ran across some statistics on Google that I thought were interesting about interfaith marriages in the United States, so I'm going to share those with you guys. The first one says 42% of marriages in the U.S. are interfaith ones. So that's a lot more than people think. The next one, as many as 1 in 5 Muslims will marry outside of their religion. The older you are, the more likely that you will marry outside of your faith. And marrying someone of another faith makes you more likely to be to have a positive impression of that faith as a whole. So I can see how that. We are going to get into some simple questions. We're going to stay on this topic, and then we'll do a segment that we're going to call, that I'll tell you guys about later. And we'll touch on specific things dealing with our interfaith marriage and all that is to come. All right. So, but for today, we'll do a little intro, and it'll be just answering some questions. No. The answer to that question is no, I am not a Muslim. My husband, David, is Muslim. In that case, what is your religion? So I do not subscribe to any religion. I consider myself to be spiritual, but not religious. And I also looked up a very easy definition as opposed to me like trying to explain and expound on this great thing. I found a definition that I feel like really pretty much sums it all up. So it says that spiritual but not religious a person identifies a life stance of spirituality that takes issue with organized religion as the sole or most valuable means of furthering your spirituality. So your spiritual growth. So that pretty much sums it up. That's how I feel. I don't feel like you have to be identify with any particular religion or organized religion or go to church or go to this place in order for your spiritual growth to take place. So that's the way that I feel. That's how I believe. I have morals. I live by certain standards. I'm not like out here shooting people and stealing and lying and whatever. That's what I'm doing.
You ain't shot nobody.
No, I have not shot anybody yet. I have not shot anybody. I won't shoot anybody. But that's how I feel. So there you go. That pretty much gives you the scoop on me. So
It's blended. I think we did. I would say we did a combination of. Because an Islamic wedding is really just more so the contract. And that's the primary focal point. The walking down the aisle, that seems to be just a thing that transcends cultures and religion. And we did that. I had my daughter make the call to prayer. I mean, we added that just because we wanted to. That's not something you might necessarily hear at a Muslim wedding, but unless it's time to pray. But I asked her to do it for our wedding. Other than that, it was officiated by someone who was Muslim, just so happens. But that was it was pretty straightforward other than that. I mean, setting, and we were out by the water, outside, friends and family seating was there. And we did it all within our required time frame of 2 hours. We went over.
We barely made it within our required time frame because
We did that.
he was late.
I was not late.
You were late. You
was
were
there.
you were there, but you were setting up. You should have gotten there to set up way earlier, so the wedding could have started on time.
Oh no, we had to print the
You were late.
thing.
Anyways, don't bring me back to that because I was very ticked
It's not
off.
like you were, like,
He was late.
you were not that late.
But yes, but don't forget about the nikah. So we did a nikah. That's definitely Muslim. Like Americans don't do that.
It could have all happened at the same place.
But
We just split it. The contract we did. We had a dinner where we did our contract signing, but you can do it all at the same spot. We just did it separate because logistics and other things.
so essentially, we got married twice ish.
Yeah. Pretty much.
So
'Cause
yeah,
we presented the contract to. We didn't have all our friends and family there when we did the contract, so.
that's the nikah, which is the Muslim marriage contract. You need to explain this. People need to know.
Nikah is marriage, and it's indicated by the signing of the contract, the nikah marriage contract. That's what makes you married. It could be done with 3 people or 4 people, 2 witnesses. Kind of like the justice of the peace type quick wedding. It can be done actually if you go to the courthouse like you do and acknowledged by the state. That constitutes that counts as well. Some people do both. You know, you do a so-called legal signing.
So called.
Yeah, so-called, because some people they don't use that. You know, it's common law. Some people just do common law, depending on what state you go to too. And then some people do the nikah, where they'll do the community wedding and with whoever they want there, and then they'll do that later.
All right. So yeah, we did our nikah a year before we did our legal, or how do you call that,
legal.
wedding
Legal.
marriage contract. So we did the nikah in October of 2017, and then we did the marriage wedding actual whole hoorah in October of 2018. So we have 2 different anniversaries, and yes, we celebrate both of them. They're on the same day on purpose, so it's easy.
You get 2 gifts. Is that what you tell people?
I get how many gifts I want. That's what I'm telling people.
That's what you telling people.
And yes, that's the truth. Okay, next question. Well, I guess, I don't know. It doesn't feel like it. Sometimes it comes up. But just on a regular, every day, it's like, I don't feel like it really makes a difference in our daily routine or anything. I'm not sure. I mean, I've never been married before, so I can't say if it would feel any different. There are instances where, like, you know, clothing, or like, you know, how I'm dressed, or something might come up, or, you know, whether I want to have like a drink of alcohol and we're out together or something, or 2 or 3 or 4, however many I want, and we're out together, and that becomes like a discussion or something, or when, you know, he prays, but he usually just kind of leaves the room and goes to the next room to pray, or I'll, like, you know, just be quiet, I don't interrupt. So it's like nothing. I mean, I feel like it would be the same way if I was married to a Christian, because I'm not Christian, and a Christian that doesn't drink or smoke or like, all the other things, fornicate and all the other things that Christians aren't supposed to do. If I were married to a Christian like that, then essentially it would be the same thing. So I don't think that it really makes any difference. There are the, Fridays he goes to Juma, which means Friday, right? In Islam. That's it, right? Arabic.
Both are correct. In Arabic and in Islam.
Oh, okay, good. Okay.
Because Arabic is in Islam.
Okay, but I was thinking like the language. The language is Arabic.
You're right. You're right.
Thank you. So he goes to Juma on Fridays, and typically I'm usually not even with him when he has to go because I'm at work or I'm at home and he's at work or something. But I've gone a few times. It's no big thing. I do get a little annoyed when I had to put the scarf on my head to go and sit in the back, but it's all good. I don't feel any. I mean, what? Like, we don't have pork in the house, but I don't eat meat, so does it make a difference? What? I don't know.
Okay.
Feels normal to me. What about you? How is it? What is it like being married to a non-Muslim as a Muslim man?
Well, in terms of rituals, it's only challenging when I am not making as much connection with people who are Muslim, because it is a family. The bonds of family do strengthen the bonds of belief. So that tends. I'm going to take a hit there because we can't share that. In terms of principle, there are things that you just don't know. You don't know. I can't fault you for that. I can't count that in the relationship, but they are real things that if someone is going to, and which would be the case in any practice. If you do yoga and your partner don't do yoga, to them you just doing some exercises to breathe better. But a person who is familiar with yoga, which is centuries old tradition, healing and all this other stuff, they're experiencing life on a level through that. So that's one aspect of it, and principle that if you're going to deepen your relationship, you're supposed to have a level of intimacy that starts with your spirituality. All roads end and begin with spirituality. So it does present. We're newly married, but it's not lost on me that, especially with all the examples of marriage that I've seen and the realities of life and what people need to come into their true selves continuously, it's not lost on me that while we can live through a variety of spiritual practices, universally, we have to work together, or we have to work together with regards to universality. So those morals she's talking about that we share. We human, so the stuff that I do, that I don't do, or that I do well, I'm not perfect. I don't want to. And I want to improve. So for me, whatever you use to improve yourself really is your religion. And the formal, I say, well, so-called organized religions, they offer a starting point or a point of reference, and people have gotten off track in different ways with that. But at the end of the day, the tradition I follow says that your religion is your sincerity. So.
What's it like being married to a non-Muslim?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I got this thing going on here too. But so yeah, it's living in two different worlds sometimes, and having certain things that may to me mean something don't mean anything to her, and having her make things that I believe that are just not of any really strong spiritual value, just on a scale of 1 to 10, they might be a 2 to me. For her, they're a 9, or even an 11 sometimes, by my opinion. And so yeah, that's challenging. So in terms of the day-to-day, yeah, she's right. I mean, we don't really have any issues other than that. I mean.